let's just turn up on the day and see what we can get. You find out that you can't get something as good as
what you wanted. Yeah. I'm now here with Lloyd. Tell us a little bit about the PE video that we've recently put together.
Yeah, so that was a really nice brief. Basically a really cinematic brand reveal, kind of. Lee and yourselves had the concept. It was going to be building up of noise and lots of things happening, and then the whole thing was quieting the noise. So that cinematic entrance, and then an explanation of the brand. It was a really big, like, I don't know how many days in the end, like shoot days. We must have done like 7 shoot days.
It was about 7 shoot days, wasn't it? All over the country, going all different places. And then the editing took quite a while, trying to match up all these things. So if you've seen the video, basically it's like each business owner is talking to each other, but they weren't in the same room. They're all in their own locations. So matching that up and making it make sense was a bit of a challenge.
If you've got like a week in between 2 users to get the tone, like being like, oh really, oh okay, and maybe you can do that, like it's quite hard to do.
So with that, what kind of editing process did you go through with that?
So editing wise, a lot of it happens on paper. So the planning which you guys did was a huge factor, making sure that everybody kind of said what was relevant to them, because obviously the idea is that they're having a conversation between the users or the case studies. And I just thought the fact that we had a version of everyone saying everything would mean that you can take the strongest performances or the strongest like lines,
because these guys weren't actors, were they? They're just business owners. So.
And like they're all on their own time, and video always takes longer than you expect. So they were very patient with us, and I think it worked out really well. But again, it's one of those things you plan and then basically take it into edit and see if you can put the plan into practice. But it is one of those things where sometimes it is formed in the edit, sometimes, but extra planning is not going to hurt.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, the amount of actual pre-planning you need to do before going to a video shoot. I mean, just rocking up and putting the cameras there doesn't really cut it anymore, especially if you're going for a more cinematic look like we were in PE.
Exactly. And actually that is where the big costs for bigger productions comes in, because you imagine you've got a team of 3-4 people planning beforehand, that's going to rack up thousands, like even before you've started shooting. So a lot of people, especially like brands who haven't delved into video much, or they don't have a video budget or anything like that, they see that even to bring the idea to like shoot day is going to cost them like 10 grand. They're like, well, okay, let's just turn up on the day and see what we can get. And then you find out that you can't get something as good as
what you wanted,
you want, and then you're spending like a lot for the shoot, but it's slightly more wasted, or the quality is not as good.
Yeah, because in some cases, like, you can just rock up, but it's a 50-50 whether you're going to get what you want. So
like events, you can rock up.
Oh yeah,
there's certain things if you're doing stuff that you literally don't know what it's going to be like. Rock up, you can plan for it. You can shoot in different ways. You can make sure you have extra coverage. You can have a 360 camera in the corner, making sure you get other bits. There's plenty of things you can plan for, but like for production, there is a pre-production and post, and that's, you do have to do all 3 stages.
Why is video such an important part of the marketing mix, do you think?
So I think video, and they always say this, and they've said it for years, it's just more eye-catching than stills. I do understand how the budget gets spent a lot quicker. Like if you hired a photographer a day and you get 300 pictures out of it, and you hire a videographer for a day and then 2 days edit, 3 days edit, you know, like for the same amount of money, you're not getting as much. You might only be getting one post. So that's why a lot of like video production has changed now. You get loads of different deliverables, you get social aspects, you get, you know, snippets, all sorts of things. So that is a case of like video being made more
accessible,
more accessible and
getting more value out of your shoot.
Exactly, yeah. But I think that's just happened naturally.
Yeah.
Because obviously people do want video because it is very eye-catching. It does show slightly more because obviously it's moving. Like you can't fake, you can Photoshop things, but you can't fake so much with video. So people feel it's more genuine. It's, you know,
more authentic.
Like, when you're listening to people in rather than something that's been written, you know, or, you know, like a caption underneath a still, for instance, like, you know, it's them saying it, like, so you know how confident they are, like how much trust you can have in their brand, etc., etc.
Yeah. You personally, do you prefer short form or long form video?
I prefer short form. Yeah. I've kind of like grown up with it. But although I don't watch a lot of short form, well, other than TikTok and Instagram, I am all over that. But I've always done for television. I was doing promos, which are like 3 minute max. And like it's always been ingrained in me that anything past 3 minutes, people are going to lose concentration. So that's what my main part of my work has been in. Though, you know, we have a podcast studio, so that is long form, but you can get nice snippets out of it.
A lot of the time the snippets sometimes do better than the podcast themselves.
So we've had 50k views on certain things, and then like 20 views on the main
podcast.
So you do a little bit like, where are these, you know, like where are these people going to after? They're just seeing it, commenting that we look stupid, and then going somewhere else. But like long format definitely has its place. I
agree.
But my experience is short format, and I do tend to enjoy that. I think it's because my attention span's not as good as it used to be, and also if you can condense a story into its smallest thing,
form, you might as well do it.
Right? Exactly. That's what editing is. So like if rather than someone saying a huge long spiel about something, you can say this, and this, and then, you know, the person can then scroll knowing that they've seen everything, and you get your views.
How is AI affecting video editing?
I've only really experienced AI helping in 2 ways. And I do think of it as a help, not a hindrance, because, you know, there's things that AI can't do yet anyway. Like they're not coming for our jobs. Like you need to be able to use AI to be able to get the most out of it anyway. There are some useful things where it can select parts of long form that you can cut down to good, what do they call it? Viral
clips,
viralability or whatever it is. There's one that basically selects out of long podcast, maybe 10 clips that are most likely to do the best, and it will give you a reason and a score, and then you can go back and you can edit them, or you can pay more and get them to do it. So that's fairly smart. Also, there's some things where you can, for instance, as we're talking on microphones, you can get AI to switch the camera between the two, which saves a lot of time. Like obviously you need to be trained how to use it to make sure that you're switching to the right cameras, etc. And then obviously Chat GPT with the captions, and Photoshop with the set extension stuff. Like those are the most powerful ones that we've experienced. Video is a little bit more difficult. I know Premiere's got like an AI built in, so you can change the color of someone's tie or something like that. But you know, if you've ever tried to track,
novelty, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like tracking of things, and you know, it's not perfect. So if you're working either at speed or you're working to high quality, sometimes you just can't use stuff like that. And then if people see it and see that you've tried to make shortcuts and you're charging them, you know, like, and then they might just be like, why is this guy just using AI? I could use AI. So
just going to jump back quickly to PE. How did you feel when you saw it up on the big screen at the big launch event?
Yeah, that was really nice to actually see, because often I don't get to see my work. First of all, a lot of the work that I do is NDA anyway. Sometimes it's internal and it just gets pushed between, you know, large international heads of companies and stuff like that. So so like internal lookbooks I do a lot, which basically never see the light of day, but they look amazing and they spend a lot of money on them. But yeah, you'll never see it out in public. I get to see a lot of digital at homes that I do, not often in person because I don't go on holiday that much. But I've seen videos of some out in, you know, like Dubai, New York and stuff like that. That is nice to see, which kind of goes on to the next question. But I mean, it's when we sat down at the table, and then I knew they're going to be playing the video. Obviously, you spent so long on it, and you know some of the people in the room are in it. You know that there's a lot of kind of not pressure, but like you want it kind of to be over, so everyone can either say yeah or like what the hell.
And luckily, everyone said yeah.
Luckily, like some people were just like, why am I in it so much? But yeah, that only meant that they delivered their lines very well. So that it was nice, and it was good to be there as a team and with them as the client. It was just a nice experience. You don't get to do that often.
Looking back on your career, what has been your highlight?
So I've actually been working in TV and film longer than I think I have. I think it's like coming up to 17 years now. Some of the things I'm like most proud of is, you know, like having long relationships with clients like Brand Elect. I've worked with Brand Elect for 10 years. And then also, you know, like I still keep on top of the agency work, and I built the studio, I built, you know, like podcast room and, you know, all these other things. It seems like I'm a bit all over the place sometimes, but all that I just want to give myself a hard time. But it's like little things that keeps life interesting. That's what I quite like. Like media is one of those, or media and marketing and advertising is one of those things where you might have different clients, you might have like different jobs to do, and it just keeps it a little bit more interesting than, you know, like punching numbers every day or something.
Every
like that.
day is different, isn't it? Exactly. In this industry, which is a great plus, I think.